Wings. CJ trying to tie things up and force that blind pick game 5. Jinair just wants to close this out and go home. Get ready for KT tomorrow.
Seeing some of the strategy actually coming through as CJ are on the blue side for a third game now. So there's been 4 matches. CJ enters were on the blue side last game, and now they find themselves on the blue side as well. So Jinair obviously setting themselves up for trump card with the last pick. Now, where does the pick and bans go is the question. I think keeping the Malphite out of the series. I saw it once.
It's so bizarre that Malphite has become this like must ban. I don't know what's going on, dude.
It's fun when things like this happen where out of nowhere Ashe and Malphite are suddenly pick ban status, but
it's very strange.
That's just scrim culture, that's just competitive gaming, is that even these champions that haven't been seen for a while, people recognize their strengths, they're introduced, you know, some team has kind of the confidence to bring out this out of the meta pick, and KOO Tigers has certainly set up the momentum that really drove Najin away from Worlds, you'd have to think.
Yeah, there's the Kalista ban on blue side once again from CJ.
Shen banned again. Now Shen's been banned quite consistently. The only team that really shook that up was KOO Tigers, who let Shy pick up that Shen and then played Shyvana and just split pushed and proxy farmed and dirty farmed all over the Shen and ensured that Shen wasn't a big factor. But Shy otherwise 6-2 and a massive 25+ KDA. Have to respect that pick.
It takes a certain amount of bravery to allow Shy to play that Shen. And yeah, not many teams are willing to do that. There's a Gangplank ban. And there's the Elise ban.
Okay.
So what are we going to see first pick?
The Elise Lulu has been the champion that came through. Lulu is the pick that's made it through the picks and bans. But how high does CJ Enters prioritize Lulu? That is a question we do not know the answer to.
Rek'Sai available. Might not be a bad first pick. Maokai as well. I don't think Shy is too afraid of Trace's Fizz anymore, but will they just take away the Lulu? They will.
I feel like Chaser would be behooved to actually lock in the Rek'Sai and try and get Ambition onto Evelynn. Now, getting Ambition onto a champion like Evelynn has proved to really hold CJ back, and you think of other top meta junglers, not too many left in the pool. He could go to the Lee Sin that has got a winning record for him and for CJ. They look very impressive on that champion, but I feel like taking away the Rek'Sai is smart. It's not 5-16, Darius, sorry.
It's not 5-16 yet, buddy, but I think the Rek'Sai will be a good choice. They may go for the Evelynn themselves. Just take the Rek'Sai, though.
We see the Evelynn locked in. We can talk about what Jinair pulled through. Okay, so Jinair, 2 days ago, pulled off this same trick on the red side, very early prioritization of Braum Evelynn, and then Chaser went for a gimmicky level 2 gank. Of course, Evelynn's E double strikes, so it does apply the the concussive blows passive almost instantly with any sort of other auto attack, and you get that stun off. So they pulled off with this combination a very strong level 2 gank, but having shown that 2 days ago and having overall opted into a matchup where the Tremor Sense gives Rek'Sai unique advantage in spotting out the Evelynn, you have to feel like they reached for something and pulled it off 2 days ago. Going to be hard to repeat that again.
I am a little bit surprised that Jinair is thinking this is going to work again. I mean, CJ obviously saw the games versus Najin. They should know what this is indicating Jinair wants to do, but you know, that could be part of the plan. Maybe Jinair wants CJ to think that. Maybe they have a different strategy up their sleeve that we haven't seen yet.
See, my issue with early picking Evelynn is that it makes a couple of things transparent about your comps. For example, poke comps with Evelynn we've seen this season, but are just woefully poor, because Evelynn, when your poking doesn't do anything, she kind of has to come out of stealth and threaten the ult, but she's a champion who very much gets into melee range, and Jinair are a team that have defaulted to poke comps on many an occasion. This suggests probably not poke comp. And also, you've got the Braum pickup. We are expecting an Ashe to come along with this Braum for some sort of initiation. GBM mousing over the Twisted Fate. Bit risky when no mid lane champion shown yet by CJ, but maybe just some more mind games.
That is some serious pick potential if they go for the TF Ashe, that's for sure. Zillion's been hovered over a lot, but I don't think we're going to see it picked anytime soon. I really don't want to see Trace play this Fizz again.
Still has the same summoner spells. That'll make you sad, though.
I'm like, no Trace.
Trace and Shy, 2 players who really should stick with champions that aren't Fizz.
I mean, Shy wins games on Fizz. I don't know if Trace can. He's going to try it, though. Ashe locked in, and yep, there's the Fizz. So, yeah, it could still be going to the mid lane, but with those summoners, like you said, Papa Smithy, I've got a feeling that one's going up the top.
And is it just Diana again? I was going to say, just as it comes forward from being considered, but why not? GBM tried something. They gave him red side counter pick. He tried the Cho'Gath, did okay in lane, but Cho'Gath has no catch-up potential. Unless one of your other lanes or a pick champion or an overwhelming CC advantage exists for your team, you just can't get back into games with that Cho'Gath because it's so hard to make things happen with the wind-up time on the Rupture. So even though the first pick changes, a lot more of the same for CJ Entus, it's looking like in this round of the draft.
I think the Jinx is great here. I mean, their comp is basically the same as last game, only stronger with the Lulu.
I mean, the fast push.
Yeah.
Given that Lulu can control her wave so well from level 1 with the Glitter Lance, and yeah, the fast push from Jinx was super effective, so definitely looking like more of the same from CJ Entus. And now it's on GBM to either play the Fizz into Diana, which is not an easy matchup for the Fizz. Diana's so tanky that often if you misjudge your damage, you will die in the AP Fizz versus AP Diana mid matchup, or show something different, because Cho'Gath is not the answer this time.
I think you go Orianna and you just get ready to pop the shockwave on Diana when she comes in.
It's a big problem though, Dor, because a classic counter pick matchup. Diana always out-pressured Orianna and had solo kill pressure post-6, so you don't want to opt into that particular champion. You could go for the Victor, and again, it's a soft counter pick, so you don't really want to go for Victor. Ryze would be something different. It would definitely be able to go toe-to-toe. Remember, it's too tanky. Two mages that build tanking that can really duke it out in the mid-game. It's a risk, and they'd really need Chaser and Fizz to apply lane pressure and roam pressure and just basically ensure that there are other lanes which aren't on paper landslide advantages to create map pressure, because if they fall behind in pressure and they have a Ryze who can't really apply pressure in mid, they will struggle.
It's going to be the Ryze for Jin-Air. Now, where are these champions going to go? I'm guessing the Fizz will be up in top. Yep. All right.
That is what we're expecting.
They could still swap, but this seems like what it's probably going to be.
Honestly, this is just an objectively worse matchup for Trace against the Lulu. Lulu has the ultimate, has so many ways to disengage. I guess if you get a quick level 6, you can pop the Ignite. There's some tricky ways to get a very early first blood in the Fizz versus Lulu matchup. But in general, it's a defensive mage versus a carry mage. It's the sort of matchup we'd expect in the mid lane a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it's all on Jin-Air creating enough pressure for Ryze to scale, because eventually we're going to see the Ryze versus Diana duel. And surprisingly, GBM hasn't actually taken the teleport himself, so the teleport disadvantage is going to persist this game.
Pilot's going to need to be very careful as well, too, not to get caught out by that Diana, not to get caught by those double globals or triple globals if you count in the Rek'Sai ultimate as well, too. That CJ's bringing. It's a dangerous comp against Jin-Air. But if they can win it, they will move on to the final stage of the gauntlet. CJ looking to move on to the final game in this best of 5. Let's see who does. Wow, loading screen time. All right. I'm a little bit worried about Alistar with that nose ring, man. That is some serious danger potential. That can get caught on anything. Literally anything.
Sivir and Alistar, both with peripherals they need to really look after.
Yeah. CJ fans, about as loud as you ever hear fans get here in the studio today. And they've got a reason to be excited. CJ is starting to bring it back, going for that reverse sweep. But if we get to the blind pick, all bets are off. CJ has to win another one if they want to even get that chance, though.
So it's a story of the summoner spells this game, Doa. Now, I was surprised to see GBM not pick up teleport the last time we saw a mid-rise. Summoner spell teleport was picked up just to let yourself get back in lane or get a really fast tier and not have to lose out on any lane pressure. CJ have played this invade game twice and lost it both times, so this is definitely defensive vision, getting the hell out for Ambition.
Yeah, I would say so. Jin-Air's like, all right, we need a level 1 team fight. We need to kill like 3 people, and then we're good.
So Che at the last second changed to Exhaust. Now Exhaust is super effective against CJ Entus' comp because they have 4 attack speed-based champions and an Alistar that doesn't do damage. So specifically Diana, she always scraps, gets the Nashor's Tooth, and then scraps with both the Nashor's Tooth on hit damage and also the passive that does so much damage as well and scales with 0.7 ability power ratio. It's a ridiculously powerful passive given that it works on turrets as well. But this double exhaust is mostly to shut down Coco, but even if Shy or Space get in range, the exhaust will be prominent. But speaking of Space, he's taken Summoner Spell Cleanse, and we saw a Cleanse in game 1, I didn't speak about it then. The reason he has taken Cleanse in this particular game you have to think is partly because of the cheese all-in that we saw from Chaser pick up on the Evelyn. The cleanse works really well against concussive blows. It'll be useful against the Rune Prison as well, but that's a different situation if Ryze is in Rune Prison range of space. But I feel like this adaptation is mostly for what Jin Air was able to pull off 2 days ago.
Jin Air going for a blue steal here. We'll see if CJ adapts and just goes right into the jungle. They've got the ward. They had that vision when they needed it.
They spotted out with a ward on the Gromp, so they shouldn't lose a buff in this situation, although Ambition falls pretty low in the jungle.
Not too bad. He's always got that passive to get a bit of health back when he burrows. No worries there. Space takes the Krugs.
Ashe and Braum didn't pick up any extra experience, but there is always the potential of the all-in play down bot. And credit to Jin Air, at least in this, they're not going for the predictable level 2 all-in again with Chaser. They're going for something different. It's always a mind game. Do you go for the same play thinking that the enemy will not expect it, or do you just try something different? And although they were spotted out, they are trying something different.
Yeah, now it seems like it's all about the flanks in the later stages of the game. If Chaser can come in, get a good Agony's Embrace off on the team, that leads into arrows, that leads into Rune Prisons, that leads into people getting hit by Trace's ultimate. So Chaser could still do a lot of good, and look at this, they're going in the top lane, a little bit of damage onto Shy, but that shield is going to prevent most of it.
Trace didn't cover himself in Glory, didn't know the range coming through from the slow effect of the Playful Trickster, so couldn't get the first CC for there to be any gank potential. And mid lane's definitely going to be a farm lane. But let's say Jin Air get map control, which of course they had in games 1 and 2, but couldn't pull off last game. If they can get map control, you know, there's no pink wards on the flanks from CJ. There are so many different ways to initiate for Jin Air. Flank from Evelyn, Ashe Arrow, even Fizz coming in with a teleport flank. But if those pink wards go down, if it's reminiscent of last game where all the aggressive vision was CJ's, you know, things look very difficult for Jin Air to pull off anything reliably. See a lot of trading in the bot. It's finally 2v2 action between these lanes.
That's right. A Pilot shape push back a little bit, which you'd expect anyway. And what's this mid lane going to look like? It's going to be interesting. I mean, GBM had a bit of an unorthodox pick last game with the Cho'Gath. Didn't work out at all. Certainly a lot more late game presence this time around with the Ryze.
Definitely a change, as you mentioned. It's also a champion where if they took teleport, could stand up to Diana in a split push situation, but with the lack of teleport, definitely team fights are going to be the purview for Jin Air.
They want to fight. I mean, that's where they've had the most luck, right? Is contesting these dragons, fighting in the late game. That's what Jin Air has done well this week. And so, don't worry about the split push. I think you're just trying to go for objective control with this comp.
So then why is Trace playing Fizz? That's the champion that goes against the
I don't know.
grain.
I have no explanation for the Fizz. I don't think anyone does. Ambition coming in to try to make a play into GBM. GBM could be in a bit of trouble. Flashes his way out of that knockup. But CJ gets the summoner. That's what they wanted.
Very nice play. The nerf coming through for Ambition's knockup radius was on display there.
Oh yeah.
It's able to hop over the potential of the unburrow. Ambition spots out Evelyn.
Yeah, it's going to be so useful to have that tremor sense. He knows exactly what's up. Chaser could be in a bit of trouble here. Ambition coming in. Chaser just popped his W for a bit of speed. Now he's got to use it to get away. Meanwhile, some action down in the bot lane. Shay and Pilot, they get the stun onto Mad Life, but not a ton of damage. Mad Life already pretty tanky with that Relic Shield.
So much success from this Jinx pick, which has done so much work. It's actually been one of the main reasons that CJ have come back into this series. And even though they're down a combat summoner, they only have a cleanse compared to the heal. They still have plenty of lane control in bot lane, just from the Jinx versus Ashe mismatch in the early game.
And Ambition, there we go. Not spotting Chaser until he moved there at the last second. I foresee a recall being denied. Or not. Oh, hi.
Why did he unburrow?
I thought he saw him at the very end, but he must not have. Meanwhile, a little bit of action up at the top lane. Trace could be in trouble here. Prey Seeker finds him.
Pretty sure he spotted him, then unburrowed instead of shooting a Prey Seeker.
I guess so. I mean, when Chaser was using his hate spikes and standing in place, you couldn't see him, but he moved right at the end. We saw it. Uh-oh, dive onto GBM, no flash there. Ambition coming in as well. Gained by Mom in a lot of trouble. Here comes Chaser. Can he save him? Not quite, but can they get a kill here? First blood goes to Coco, and that's exactly what CJ wants.
Party in the mid lane coming through from CJ. Diana hits 6 first, able to get the ult, and GBM didn't have 6, so didn't have the ability to get that defensive shield through and the utility of the movement speed. Nothing Chaser can do level 5 himself, so really nice rotation diving a rise early in the game, works in the mid lane, works in the top lane, and works a treat for CJE.
It certainly does. GBM with that tier isn't going to have a ton of power early on. Needs to stack up, of course. Rise takes a while to get there as far as damage goes. Coco working towards his Abyssal Scepter, it looks like.
Don't be fooled by the Negatron start. A lot of the value from Coco in the early game comes from the base value, so you don't need to rush any sort of ability power to win these trades. So he's in a really good spot to pressure GBM in lane.
Yep, should be fine. There's Chaser. Oh, and Jay's there as well. Yeah, they really want to equalize this. If GBM can land the Rune Prison. Oh, Coco comes in. There's Rune Prison. Coco in a lot of trouble. Getting very low. Chaser comes in. They get the kill. Chaser knocked back under turret, though. Nice play by Madlife. Kill for Ambition as CJ responds. Jinair going to respond by just pushing that mid lane forward. Maybe they can do a bit of damage to the turret. Ambition gets Rune Prison. He stayed a little bit too close. Gets it really poked up. Oh, again! Madlife pushing Shay under now. Shay forced the flash, gets killed by the turret. Madlife making plays in the mid lane.
And if Madlife doesn't want to play League anymore, Coco's coming.
He's back. GBM still no flash. I don't think he can get out of this one. Another nice knock up in Madlife. Gives Ambition yet another kill. CJ doing work, and they might be able to get themselves a dragon out of this as well, but they've gotten more than they need to in the last couple minutes. Madlife, what a series of plays.
Madlife's adds to the career highlight reel on the Alistair. And man, as I said, if the League of Legends, if he wants to step away and retire, the CJ volleyball team needs another member, and it could be Madlife.
I guess so. He can spike him into the turret any day. No turrets in volleyball, but spikes are there. I guess headbutt too. You don't really headbutt volleyballs though, do you?
I think that's still a legal maneuver. Look, Coco was the first one to blink, so he's all in. Remember, he also had the backup, so it's understandable that he went for the all-in. The first headbutt, look, Chaser, you know, he got the kill. 1-for-1 is fine. But if we had seen the extended fight, the fact that he managed to get two people to aggro under turret is just comical.
Dude, Jinair, talk about an overcommitment. I mean, yeah, you go 1-1, but you'd be more careful than that. You don't let yourself get headbutted again by Madlife, and then you don't let the enemy mid laner teleport behind you when he comes back alive again. And they're going to try to make a play on the Shy here. Agony's Embrace, there's a fish as well. Shy in a lot of trouble without that flash. Looks like Jinair should be able to get a kill, and they will.
Good on Jinair. He understood the flash was down from Shy, so able to pick up that kill, but
getting a kill on Trace is pretty important as well.
You need to get the snowball going. He's gone for double Dorans again, despite not falling behind in the early game. So really prioritizing the early stats, but delaying the Trinity Force that is always the massive power spike for this tanky top lane Fizz. He's overextended. It doesn't have playful tricks for 7 seconds, but the follow doesn't come through from Ambition. In the mid lane, just trying to freeze the lane. Rise's turret falls. It was chipped down megally, and GBM didn't have the AoE to keep it up.
Yep. First turret of the game going over to CJ. Space with the rocket, and nearly takes out Chaser. Did he get the red buff? He did. Got the red buff. Oh, arrow onto Space though. Madlife there to support his AD carry, so it looks like he'll get out of that one, but a close call there for the AD carry on CJ.
That was some sick calculation. Evelyn just didn't check the bush. Didn't know there was a pink ward in the area.
Well, they know now.
Still required some approximation after the leashing to know that health, but
it was good.
That was Faker-esque in his sniping, and this is with a much harder skill shot to steal compared to, say, for the Ezreal ultimate that Faker makes work. The AoE radius on the level 1 Jinx ult, much harder calculation to make.
Well, not to mention Jinx's ultimate doesn't hit mobs, it only hits players too, so you have to hit someone right next to the mob at the right amount of health. It's tough to make it work, but you see it every once in a while.
Talked about the tactical surrender from Jinair in game 1, and sorry, in game 3, the previous game. Honestly, they're playing like they're rattled though, regardless of the surrender. If it was just a preserved mindset, it seems like that mindset's definitely a little bit of a concern, because although they've seemed to have done a lot of work and a lot of scrim work, 2 games where they haven't been granted a really big early lead. Remember, they were gifted kills level 1 in both the first 2 games.
Well, this Jinx pick is something that maybe Jinair wasn't quite expecting to see.
Space just hasn't shown a lot of flexibility. He's been a Civic Corki main like the most as GBM puts on the Nikes.
Oh, they're going in. Coco thinks he catches GBM. He could. There's the exhaust on him. Can Jin Air close it out? Coco getting very low. Fizzle helps out. No, he gets a kill on GBM. Wild Growth, he's still alive. That's a double kill. CJ all over this game, and Trace is going to get caught too. Nothing going Jin Air's way in game 4.
The Diana is so strong. The Wild Growth was on point from Shy.
Perfect.
And Trace, you know, when it's this AD Fizz, if you don't get the kill with the Playful Trickster, you're going to die on the back end. You don't have that cooldown to get out. If you thought the previous game was short, this one might be even shorter.
No kidding. Well, I mean, Coco just seems to be on fire today with this Diana. Jin Air with no real response. Looks like we're going to a game 5, and if we do, I've got a feeling that Diana might come back because there's no bans in blind pick.
Diana wasn't picked or banned in game 1, was banned away from Coco game 2, left open 2 games in a row, and he is punishing Jin Air with this pick.
Yeah, and Space, meanwhile, just takes out the bottom turret. Looks like that's all 3 outers down in favor of CJ. Let's watch this one again. How in the world does Coco survive this?
The GBM's a lot more competitive in the fight now that he's got a couple of levels in their eyes, but once the Wild Growth comes through, just so tanky, gets the shield cooldown again, so has a life, and even snipes on the back end with the Q. That was beautiful to see. For once, Space's ultimate doesn't matter, but they still pick up a very comfortable 3-for-0 trade.
Some pretty excellent mechanical play from Coco to keep himself alive, to get those 2 kills. That's what CJ needed. They needed some life, and man, they got it in the last couple games off of Coco's Diana.
Panic stations for Jin Air in a lot of different ways. They've left these power picks for CJ open, specifically the Diana, and just had no answer. The lane counter pick didn't work. This time going for something a bit different, going for a scaling champion, hoping that chases Evelyn can create pressure. Just makes me wonder, why the early round Evelyn? They made me a believer with a really smart strategy last time we saw it in a game 2 days ago, but just the reality of the matchup. If Rek'Sai's open, it's a wonderful lane counter pick.
All right, they're going to try to go in onto Coco here. Chaser catches him. There's the fish. Can they get the kill? Looks like they might be able to get it this time. They will. A kill for Jin Air. Mad Life is there. Jinx Rocket doesn't connect. And they'll be okay with that. So Coco is catchable, but it requires a lot from Jin Air. That could lead to some pretty solid objective control by CJ.
I'd say the same thing about the Diana. Diana's a containable champion, but my main issue is that she's a double teleport champion. She opens up this double teleport strategy. Coco can split push at any point. Ambition.
Oh, Ambition finds Chaser. Showing Smite, gonna get him. Nice catch by Ambition. Trace has to back away. In fact, he's trapped between Mad Life and Rek'Sai now. Looks like he's going to get out, though.
Jin Air leave open these headaches like the double TP strategies, like these other situations, opting into them knowing that they feeling confident that they have the answer. And the answer is just a resounding no based on this early 15 minutes and the previous game.
Well, Jin Air at this point just seems to be completely falling apart. And if there's one thing that CJ has been good at, it's when they're like a school of piranhas, man. When there's blood in the water, CJ just tears you apart. They're going to find Shay again. It just seems like the more rattled their opponent gets, the more CJ kind of feeds off it. Hawk shot comes in by Pilot. That Hawk is like crazy, man. It does like barrel rolls. Somebody get that Hawk to an animal hospital, man. It's not supposed to be doing that.
And there's 2 of them, of course, now that you have a charge system on the Hawk shot. But Ambition, this is a guy, when CJ is losing, often looks awful. Will make a bad engage, will try and be overly aggressive, get caught in the enemy jungle. But when they pick a champion like Jinx, when they fast push, when they end the laning phase, or make it lopsided in some different way with getting fast turrets, or getting a big advantage, that same factor from Ambition looks like genius. He's all over the enemy jungle like he always is, but with a team to back him up, with a champion like Lulu, who's always going to be next to Twisted Fate, one of the fastest champions to rotate to a skirmish. Ambition gets work done. Suddenly Jin Air don't even have access to their Krugs or Raptors, let alone anything else. And the lead is just going to get bigger. It's 6,000 gold at 15 minutes. If there was a surrender button potential now, Jin Air, look, with the Rise scan, they probably wouldn't press it, but they'd at least have their finger near that trigger.
Yeah, I mean, you surrender the last one. I don't think you can surrender this one at this point. You got to play it out now, especially with that Rise.
There's just so many headaches. The teleport Diana, who's now 3-2-3, who's picked up items in CS, despite being the victim of, what, 4 or 5 mid lane ganks. he's been able to create pressure, Coco, that he's just not frequently able to do. There's a reason Azir's banned. This guy has solo kill pressure on that champion. But when he doesn't have lane pressure, what can't be created.
Oh, Trace. Going on to Mad Life.
Nicely done.
Playful trickstering away. Nice play by Mad Life. Flash headbutt. Trace throws the fish back onto space. Rabbit back, I guess.
It's a bit worrying when the most convincing display of Trace's Fizz play is defensive.
Yeah. It was a nice ult. I mean, he caught him fade away fish.
Yeah, he dodged a pulverize. He maneuvered away from the oncoming space. That part was great, but that's not what Fizz is all about. He's all about going all in.
Yeah, you're going the wrong direction if you're doing that with Fizz. Turret taking a little bit of damage. Shy just pushing up that bot lane. He's got the teleport if he needs to come in.
They've got a 5-man group if they want it. They've got double teleport available, and they can create huge 1-3-1 pressure. And that 3 can be in the top lane, the bot lane. It doesn't matter. They can all instantly react. Honestly, they could just have the AD carry and support push. And if they had the tunnel network, 3 members can show up at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, they've got that 1-3-1 going. Or they could if they wanted to. And Jin Air, I mean, the only way they could really conceivably win this game now is if they go super, super late game, Rise gets powerful, and then they win some sort of crazy team fight. But CJ doesn't look like they're going to give him that opportunity. They're pushing so fast. Portrait's down in 17 minutes and no sign of letting up. Mad Life comes in for the headbutt pulverize on the Pilot. Pilot low health, but Mad Life going to get caught a little bit. Teleport coming in for CJ. Jin Air can't really pursue this. They might have to give up this turret, too.
And honestly, Ashe is their only initiation option because look at the pink wards littering the red side jungle of Jin Air.
Arrow onto Coco, but Mad Life comes in immediately. Mad Life getting a bit low, but they've got a low health. Jin Air members 3 knockups from Ambition, and CJ all over this one again. GBM taken out by Shy. It's just going to wild growth himself, and Jin Air having to flee away from their tier 2. 5-0 now is the turret lead for CJ.
That's so much gold from the turrets and the pink wards I was mentioning. There's how many pink wards? I believe 4 pink wards on the map. All of them are at the river or further pushed up. 2, importantly, in the red side jungle. No flank possibility option from Chaser. This was always going to be a moment. Remember, this is initiated by Jin Air when they're behind. Mad Life with the dying headbutt pulverize, but Space is free hitting at the back.
Well, Mad Life is really going off this game, man. If we were giving away MVP awards in the Gauntlet, Mad Life would definitely be my candidate for this game.
Come on, when he spikes 3 members under turrets, he's already got it sewn up 10 minutes in.
That is bloodthirsty, man. That's why Mad Life has always been one of my favorites.
2 games on the blue side in a row, and 2 games where CJ have had so much advanced vision, so much map control. It's just all going wrong for Jin Air out of almost nowhere. I was ready to write this series off 2 games in, and something fundamental has changed. Credit to the shot calling, credit to the coaching and the mentality of these members. You can see the veteran status, but they're able to shake away those poor first 2 games, that poor series against Ku, and come back strong.
You know, it just seems like Jin Air is trying to be too clever in their picks and pans, doesn't it? They're trying to kind of outthink CJ and outmaneuver them, but it really seems like they're kind of outsmarting themselves. They give themselves these compositions that they really don't seem to be too good at playing. You gotta wonder what's gonna happen in the game 5. Space a bit low, trying to make a play is Trace. Space gets out anyway, and when you can't catch a Jinx like that, you are in big, big trouble. CJ Coco goes in on the Pilot. Nice kill. This Diana is pretty much unstoppable at this point. GBM fighting Ambition under turret, goes forward, tries to catch Space with Space, fading away. GBM gets punted right into another rocket, and Shy with the split push. There goes his tier 2.
It's a pretty cool 5v4 coming through there for Jin Air. Shy wasn't even required at any point. We're going to blind pick, Doa.
We are definitely going to blind pick. There is no way that Jin Air is stopping CJ from taking this game. Inhibitor going to be taken out. It's not the end of this one just yet, but might as well be, because unless we go another 30 minutes in this game, there's just no way Jin Air can close this out.
From the moment they locked in the Cho'Gath, looking for the style points you were kind of alluding to in your previous comment, they've been punished. You know, they tried to get that big win, but there's no style in going up 2-0 and getting reverse swept and losing your world's dream.
I really don't think it was style points. I feel like they're just trying to be smarter than CJ and just outsmarting themselves, you know?
There is that outthinking yourself potential when you get really cute with picks and bans. As we mentioned in the previous game, good laning options, but the whole picture was what was lost by Jin Air. They didn't have a comp that functioned together. That's why the moment they fell behind, it was basically tap the map, it's all over. This time their comp makes more sense, but They just made decisions they didn't need to. Why the early
Oh, Ambition comes in, gets hit with the Rune Prison. Coco gets into the back lines. Nice 3-man. Oh boy, that's a big rocket. Coco with the Zonias. That's going to leave Ambition and Mad Life to wreak havoc in GBM and the rest of Jin Air. 2 kills already. CJ having no issues at all in that fight. Jin Air really trying to go for some kind of Hail Mary engages there, but they've just got no chance of winning these fights. Coco has that Zonias. You're just not going to kill him now.
And CJ Entus and their history in blind pick has never been in doubt. This is an excellent blind pick team. We're going to see Coco's Azir most likely. We're going to see all these players on their strongest chance. And after having such a big advantage, it's going to be an uphill battle for Jin Air.
Oh, sure will. There's the Baron. There's the surrender. Jin Air knows what's up. And we are going to blind pick, guys.
Game 3 and Game 4 was shorter, basically the exact same length as Game 1. It was a 43-minute win for Jin Air. Next 2 games, those last 2 games we've seen, 45 minutes together.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, what do you do? If you're Jin Air, you know where things are going. You know you're not going to win that one. You surrender it, move on to the next one. The problem is the next one is going to be the last one. It could be the last one of the year for you.
You put faith in your scrim culture. They played so many games in the last 21 days practicing for this event. Yeah. I hope they came up with a smart comp because they're going to need to show it right now.
And we'll see a victory for CJ Entus. 2-2, we're all tied up, going to blind pick. No bans, all bets are off. Who knows what we're going to see with the picks Jin Air's been bringing out, with the picks CJ's been bringing out. You know, where everyone talks about Coco's Azir, his Diana has looked so strong as well in these last 2 games.
And the Diana's so much more flexible with the teleport. Will we see teleport Diana versus the Gangplank from GBM? That's the sort of champion that come through. Malphite, Gangplank, Lulu, all available to Jin Air. Let's hope they can shake off 2 tough losses, because CJ have really come in strong.
That's right. It's not the season on the line anymore for these guys. It is the entire year. 2015 ends for Jin Air or CJ Entus in the very next game. One team goes on for a shot at Worlds. The other team goes home and has a few months to retool things for 2016. Do not go anywhere, guys. You cannot miss Game 5 between CJ Entus and the Jin Air Green Wings. When we come back, we'll see who lives and who dies. It's going to be pretty epic.
It's the cruelest way, but the best way to watch. Blind pick, it's for the viewers, Doa, and it's going to be great.
That's right. Everything on the line. And we'll be right back with the final game of the night, CJ versus Jin Air in that blind pick, Game 5, right after this.